All right, now DB talking birds, DB talking Philadelphia Eagles. Guys, sorry I'm about a few minutes late. Had a crazy queue to end the day at work. So got out of work a little bit later than I wanted to, later than expected. So I do apologize that I'm a few minutes late. Guys, there's big news for the Philadelphia Eagles today, and that is that the Eagles got an extension done with Dallas Goddard, tight end Dallas Goddard, and this is great news. This is great news, and the reason why it's great news is because he's going to be an integral piece for Jalen Hurts' development moving forward. So, obviously this was something that's been talked about all season long. Dallas Goddard came out and talked about it earlier in the season publicly. So did Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman publicly came out and said, he wants to make sure that Dallas Goddard proves that that they should re-sign him, but kind of left the window open. Kind of left the window open when Howie Roseman gave his press conference about re-signing Dallas Goddard. But now it's done. Now it's officially done. Dallas Goddard has gotten a 4-year, $56 million, I believe, $56 million extension. So big money. And he deserves it too. With the trade of Zach Ertz, when Zach Ertz got traded to the Arizona Cardinals earlier this season, the expectations jumped up very mightily for Dallas Goddard. Obviously, he's been waiting in the wings since 2018 when we drafted him. So, he's a guy that some people feel is more athletic than Zach Ertz, is better with yards after the catch than Zach Ertz. But, the one thing that Zach Ertz always had on Dallas Goddard, and not just Dallas Goddard, but any tight end kind of in the league, is Zach Ertz's ability to run really, really great routes, get open, and things like that. But we've seen over the past few weeks how important Dallas Goddard has been for Jalen Hurts, and how important he is for the game plan, going into any game. So I think it's a great move. It's a great move by Howie Roseman. It's a great move by Howie Roseman. Now you have a lot of your guys, your core players, locked up. And I'm going to throw in Josh Sweat. I'm going to throw in defensive end Josh Sweat in there. Obviously, I think it was like week 3 or week 2 or something like that. I think it was week 2, honestly, right before the 49ers game. They extended Josh Sweat. Look, I know that we're all kind of down. I know that we're all kind of down on Josh Sweat, as far as this year is concerned. But what I can tell you is he might just be having a down year. The entire defensive line is having a down year. So I think we know what Josh Sweat is capable of doing. He's also transitioning into a new defensive scheme. You know what I mean? So, when we drafted Josh Sweat, Jim Schwartz was the defense coordinator and spent time with Jim Schwartz and kind of started to develop in that system. But now there's a new defensive coordinator. So I expect Josh Sweat to continue to learn the scheme and continue to get better and live up to that contract that he got earlier in the season. Dallas Goddard needs to just keep doing what he's doing, continue to get better. Continue to get better. And I think that that's going to come with obviously the progression and the development of Jalen Hurts as well. You know what I mean? So all great things moving forward. So we'll just have to see how the rest of the season pans out. Now, obviously, Dallas Goddard did get the concussion against the Denver Broncos. The league kind of said that it wasn't an illegal hit. It looked like an illegal hit to me that knocked Dallas Goddard out of the game. It clearly looked like it was helmet to helmet, and but they said it wasn't a legal hit. They said it was not an illegal hit by Justin Simmons, I think it was. So, but that's all right. There's a few nuggets I want to get to And Dallas Goddard, by the way, just to top that off, just to finish that up, Dallas Goddard was a participant at practice this week, so I do believe that he will go against the New Orleans Saints on Sunday. So that is good news moving forward. But a couple other things that I want to touch on. I do want to touch on the Eagles and the Saints. Alvin Kamara, running back for the New Orleans Saints, has been ruled out. This is big news for the Philadelphia Eagles defense, who has not been able to really do a good job of stopping good running backs all season long. So Alvin Kamara obviously is one of those guys that you can list as a top premier running back, and that's only going to benefit the Eagles going up against the New Orleans Saints this week. I also want to talk about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, something interesting was brought to my attention, and that's that Jalen Hurts has been through, I think it's like five different offensive systems in 6 years. And that's insane. That's insanity. That's insanity to me. You know what I'm saying? So I also want to talk about this as well. We're constantly trying to get on we're constantly trying to find ways, positive things to say about Jalen Hurts, and then the negative things usually end up coming out sometimes. But that's a positive thing. Jalen Hurts, because of the fact that he's been through different coordinators, different offensive systems in that amount of time, just means that he was built for this. He was built for what the Philadelphia Eagles are going through at this point in time, and he's getting better, and you're seeing him develop and get even better. So you can only imagine, if the Philadelphia Eagles stick with Jalen Hurts and Jalen Hurts continues to get better, how good can this guy be in 2 to 3 years from now? How good can he be? I was listening to the Dan Sileo show earlier today, and he did the stat comparison between Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts has about 11 more touchdowns, but everything else they're kind of hand in hand the same, and that was his argument. That was his argument for proving that Jalen Hurts was the guy. I have no problem with Dan Sileo saying that Jalen Hurts is the guy. I have no problem with Keyshawn Johnson saying Jalen Hurts is the guy, which is another former NFL player who did say that. What I do have a problem with, though, is I do have a problem with thinking that stat comparison is the end-all be-all of trying to figure out how good this quarterback is, and you're comparing him to Carson Wentz. Here's what I have to say in response to that about Dan Sileo is there is one thing that Carson Wentz did for us that Jalen Hurts has only done 3 times so far this season, maybe 4 times. The eye test. Carson Wentz as a rookie passed the eye test with flying colors. Carson Wentz in 2017 passed the eye test with flying colors. In 2018, he passed the eye test. 2019, he still passed the eye test. In 2020, of course, 2020 was god awful for Carson Wentz. We know that in Philadelphia Eagles uniform. But what Jalen Hurts hasn't quite done consistently enough yet is pass the eye test. Yes, the stats are the same. He has more touchdowns because he can run the ball. But it's all about it's about eye test too. It's about what we got. It's about what we can see on the field in front of us with our eyes. Now, Jalen Hurts has been passing the eye test with flying colors over the last few weeks, and then also in the Atlanta game. But we need that to continue. Birdman 951, what's up, my man? Birdman says, DB, yo, what's up, dude? How's it going? What's cooking? Dallas Goddard gets the 4-year, $56 million extension. That's what I'm fucking talking about, right, man? How are you feeling about Jalen Hurts? Nowhere but up. Nowhere but up with Jalen Hurts. Nowhere but up. He's looked really great. He's looked really great over the last few weeks. Are they helping him out? Are they helping him out a lot more? Yeah, they are. The Eagles are helping him out a lot more because over the last 3 weeks we've had the number one rushing offense, and we're averaging about 204 yards a game on the ground. So anytime, no matter what quarterback you have, that's going to help out your quarterback. When you're putting up those kind of numbers on the ground. But you know what? I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and I always want more. So I want to see that 204 yards per game continue. I'm not saying that it's going to, but something along those lines. I want to see a strong running game continue, and then I want to see the passing game start to become even more prolific, which I think we're on the verge. I think we're getting there. And the reason why I think we're getting there is because the strong running game that we have, it opens up what Nick Sirianni wanted to do from the very beginning of the season. It opens up the shotgun draw. It opens up the lining up Jalen Hurts in the gun. It opens up those sorts of things. The very first three plays, Birdman 951 says he's got to be consistent. Yeah, I completely agree. I think consistency is the resounding term and perfect word to describe this team right now and what they're going through. Is we need to find consistency, and we need to and then we need to continue to develop upon it. So obviously there's a few things that can throw that off this week. Obviously, with Miles Sanders coming back, how's the running game going to look with Miles Sanders coming back? And what is that going to do with Jordan Howard? Are the Eagles going to go back to running outside zone runs when Miles Sanders comes back? Who knows? In my opinion, I don't think it needs. I think it's getting blown up a little bit more than it needs to. Just continue to run the ball with Jordan Howard the way that you're running the ball with Jordan Howard, and have Miles Sanders come in for the role that Boston Scott has had over the last 3-4 weeks. You know what I mean? Now obviously you're probably going to give Miles Sanders the ball a little bit more than Boston Scott's been getting it, but that doesn't mean that you have to change the running game. The interesting thing is that Nick Sirianni did come out and say that Miles Sanders is probably going to have a different role when he comes back. So whatever that means, whatever that looks like, is yet to be seen. But it kind of breeds some excitement. Birdman says, I'm not too thrilled with the Dallas Goddard signing. I don't think he's a top tight end. He needs to ball out to make that make sense. I agree. And I said this, I do agree with you. I think it's good that they locked him up, because I'll say this first. I think it's good that they locked him up because you don't want a guy, you don't want a tight end like Dallas Goddard hitting the market and then going up and blowing up somewhere else. You know what I mean? So I think that it's good that they got him locked in on that. But I do also agree with you in this sense is, yeah, we haven't seen Dallas Goddard, for a full season as the starting tight end. We haven't seen that yet. So there's the increase of snaps. There's the increase of opportunity to get the ball. And with those two things, can also increase the opportunity for injury too, as well. So how does Dallas Goddard deal with more snaps? Well, that's the thing. We saw him get knocked out of the Denver Broncos game. I think it was an illegal hit. I believe it was an illegal hit. The NFL ruled it not an illegal hit, but I'm not one of the big wigs that run the NFL. You know what I'm saying? But it looked like a helmet to helmet hit to me. So Toxic Falcons, what's up, my dude? Toxic Falcon says, man, these last 2 games got me down bad. Yeah, you guys got fucked up by the Dallas Cowboys, and then you also got shut out by the New England Patriots last night. Terribly sorry for you, my man. I know that sucks. Of course it sucks anytime that you get shut out by somebody. I can't remember when the last time the Philadelphia Eagles got shut out, but I do empathize and I also sympathize with you Toxic Falcon. So I do, apologize for that shutout that you had to experience last night. Mitch Kofsky, please like and subscribe. I've not seen you in here before, my man. Falcons suck. Well, yeah, Falcons do suck. Sorry, Toxic Falcons. I do have to agree with Mitch on that one. They do suck. I mean, each one of your quarterbacks threw an interception last night. I'm not sure how that happens, but it did. It happened. It did. The New England Patriots defense forced 4 interceptions last night. Tox Falcon says Matt needs help. I agree with that. I did do a stream last night. Damian Creative hopped on, and yeah, we were talking about how there's no deep threat for the Atlanta Falcons right now, and so then we got into a conversation about Calvin Ridley, and hopefully you guys can get him back soon. But right now it is what it is. So, but let's look forward to this Sunday's games. Let's do that. Let's start with my team, Philadelphia Eagles versus the New Orleans Saints. Alvin Kamara has been ruled out, which is good news for the Eagles defense. And Dallas Goddard looks like he is going to play after suffering the concussion against the Denver Broncos. Jalen Hurts obviously is doing really, really well right now. So hopefully he can continue and improve upon what he's been able to do lately. And then Miles Sanders looks like he's going to be back for this game. So I am incredibly excited about that. But I'm also very interested into seeing what that's going to look like. Toxic Falcon says Dan Quinn is at blame for all of this. F Dallas and their fan base. Oh, yeah. No, I can't agree more. Yeah, fuck Dallas. Fuck the Cowboys. Not a big fan of the Cowboys. Never will be a fan of the Cowboys, obviously, because I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So there is no point in me ever even touching that with my ability for fandom when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. Birdman 951 says, I called that Matt Ryan would be on his farewell tour. Yeah, here's the thing. Is that's an interesting conversation to bring up. Yes, Matt Ryan can still put up the stats. He can, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good for him. So my thing is this is, look, we've talked about the quarterback prospects so far this season and how we're not really excited about the quarterback prospects going into the 2022 NFL draft. But, at some point, the Atlanta Falcons have to start thinking about a replacement for Matt Ryan. And honestly, I think they missed the train when they didn't do that in the offseason, this past offseason. Tox Falcon says Matt won't be getting traded. He would put us in $46 million dead space. Oh, I'm not saying that Matt Ryan's going to get traded. But I definitely do think that they find his replacement. They need to start thinking about his replacement. How do you guys feel about Miles Sanders coming back to the Philadelphia Eagles? Philadelphia Eagles are number 1 in rushing in the league over the last 3 games. They're averaging 204 yards on the ground. What's your take on Miles Sanders joining in on that? Is Miles Sanders going to fuck up the chemistry, as some people are worried about, or is he going to do what we want Miles Sanders to do and add a spark to that rushing offense? Tell me what you think. King Miro, my man, welcome to the chat today, dude. Happy Friday. Tox Falcon says, question for everyone. Go ahead, man. Speak your mind. Speak your mind. That's what we're here for. Birdman says this show is very underrated. Hit the damn like button. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I really do. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, we need some more likes. We need some more subscribers. We need all of the above. Anything and everything. Honestly, I really don't care. It's just at the end of the day, I love talking ball and I love talking my team, and I love it when you guys talk your team and da 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 da. What's interesting is I know you guys, most of you guys know this YouTuber, Lord Brunson. Lord LB had Devin Caney on his show, on his podcast. Philadelphia sports journalist Devin Caney. She's also a co-host of the post-game show at Rico for the Philadelphia Eagles. And she brought up an interesting interview that she had with the former beloved defensive back Bobby Taylor. And the one thing that she said that Bobby Taylor brought up was Bobby Taylor, and we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles defense right now. So we've jumped ship. So we're going to Jonathan Gannon, and we're going to Philadelphia Eagles defense town. She mentioned that when Bobby Taylor and Brian Dawkins and them boys were being coached under Jim Johnson, defense coordinator Jim Johnson, those guys were communicating all the time. Those guys were communicating pre-snap, post-snap, before the game, after the game, like all the time. They could not stop communicating with each other on defense. They just couldn't. And I remember that growing up. I remember watching J Trot and B Doc and all them boys communicating with each other pre-snap and post-snap and watching them call different audibles and shit like that. But the one thing that Devin Caney said that Bobby Taylor saw, and she mentioned that Bobby Taylor watches the games with no sound, so he can kind of pick up on this shit a little bit better. They rarely ever communicate. This defense, they rarely ever communicate pre-snap. So when I heard that, I was like, yeah, she's right. She's right. Bobby Taylor is right. That's absolutely correct. I hardly ever see these fuckers communicating with one another. And my thing is this. Is that because of the lack of experience that we have at the linebacker position? Because obviously, as we know, the linebacker position is supposed to be one of the leader positions on a defense. Those linebackers got to get the defensive line lined up when they need to call an audible. And same thing with the safety. The starting safeties, they got to get the linebackers. It's like a leveling. It's like a leveling sort of shit. And yeah, you don't see that. So my thing is this: is would an experienced linebacker change all that? And I think it would. I honestly do think it would. Now, obviously, we know how much of a need it is to get a veteran linebacker, or a linebacker that knows what the fuck he's doing on the defense in the city of Philadelphia. But I don't think I'll say this again. I have to agree with everything that Devin Caney said and Bobby Taylor said, because I haven't seen a high level of communication from the middle linebacker spot since we had DeMeco Ryans. Tell me what you guys think about that. Toxic Falcon says Dan Quinn ain't shit. The only reason he looks good for Dallas because they already had great talent, and the same can be said for the Seahawks. Am I right or wrong? No, I honestly, Toxic Falcons, I think you're wrong. Because the Dallas Cowboys had great talent on defense last year, and they were absolutely fucking awful. So I think Dan Quinn coming in and using the talent that's provided to him, has able to make it work. Was able to make it work and able to make things look a lot better than than they have been in the past. But so I mean, I think Dan Quinn is a defense coordinator that still does have some biscuits. does still have some talent and ability at the defense coordinator position is what I'm trying to say. He definitely does still have some talent and ability. Whether it's, I will say this, I don't think he has as much as he used to have when he was with the Seahawks. But I think because he does have some knowledge about the defensive game, and then he's able to apply that to the talent that they already had in Dallas. And you're talking about Leighton Vander Esch. You're talking about, well, before he got released, obviously at the beginning of the season, it was Leighton Vander Esch. It was Jalen Smith. It was Micah Parsons, and you just have four linebackers right there who seem like they could get the job done, and they have been Pro Bowlers, and obviously we know how good Micah Parsons is. That they were just gonna absolutely crush on defense. And now we're also seeing Trayvon Diggs obviously in his second year, and he's having a phenomenal season as well. So there's all of that. There's all of that as well. So, I think, but stop making me say good things about the Cowboys. I don't want to say good things about the Cowboys. Stop making me say good things about the Cowboys. Fuck the Cowboys. Birdman says, "Go Chiefs." Yeah, go Chiefs. Go Chiefs. Speaking of the Chiefs, Chiefs obviously do play the Cowboys this week. Some people think around the league that the Dallas Cowboys are going to beat the Chiefs. Some people around the league think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to blow the Chiefs out. I don't think so. I think that Patrick Mahomes, coming off that 5 touchdown performance, is going to start to catch fire like Patrick Mahomes does towards the end of the season and really, really fuck some Cowboy shit up. King Miro says Miles Sanders fitting a cook. Yeah, baby. That's what I want to hear. The optimistic thing about Miles Sanders coming back is that Nick Sirianni's dedication to the run actually started against the Las Vegas Raiders. On those first 2 drives, Miles Sanders had 5 carries for 30 yards before he went down. And I honestly believe that they were going to continue to run the ball that game. And if Miles Sanders didn't go down, he did go down. And obviously they went back to what they had done prior to that point. But now, obviously, as we see over the last 3 games without Miles Sanders, against Detroit, against the LA Chargers, against the Denver Broncos, the Philadelphia Eagles have been absolutely phenomenal in the running game. And now Miles Sanders is going to have the ability to be a part of that. And I cannot wait. I've been waiting for Miles Sanders to have a breakout season, since he's been drafted. And I think that if the Philadelphia Eagles keep this offensive strategy, keep this offensive scheme that they have currently going, that's got them on fire right now, then Miles Sanders will put up a really, really great season. Miles Sanders still has the ability to put up a great season. There's 7 games left, there's plenty of time. There's plenty of time to put up at least, 8 rushing touchdowns on the ground. And I would say probably about at least 650 yards on the ground. So, I mean, Miles Sanders still has the ability to have a really great season. So I'm excited that he's coming back. We'll see how that plays out. All of the above. But you cannot deny that Jordan Howard has sparked this offense into something special. They've got something special going on, and it's just a matter of consistency. Like Birdman said at the beginning of the stream, consistency. And I said that in my stream just last night as well. Toxic Falcon says, I don't want to disrespect anybody, but you paid that tight end too much money. Did we, though? Here's the thing. Dallas Goddard got what he got because there's a few things. I mean, he has shown potential to be a really, really good tight end. But the other aspect of that re-signing and that contract extension is based off of what Hunter Henry got and Jonnu Smith got. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we're looking at a 4-year, $56 million contract extension. You know, that is normal for a top 10 tight end. That is normal for a top 10 tight end, especially now to get that after the mark had been set by Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry by the New England Patriots. But here's the thing is if Dallas Goedert goes out and balls out the rest of the season, you know, and truly looks like a badass tight end, which he has at some points. He's better after the catch than Zach Ertz was. You know, then you're looking at a contract where he's still got 3 or 4 more years on the contract. You don't have to pay him until then. So they're really excited also about Tyree Jackson too and Jack Stoll. So, you know, I don't necessarily know the fine details of the contract, but I'm sure Howie Roseman negotiated a way out within the finer details of that contract somehow. I'm sure he did. King Miro says, if we keep winning games like that, I see us going 11-6 or 10-7. It's possible. It's possible. It's going to start with the Saints. Here's the thing. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I mentioned this before we played the LA Chargers. There were 9 games left at that point, and 3 out of those 9 games I all predicted as losses. And that was the Chargers, that was the Saints, and that was the Dallas Cowboys. So at that time, obviously, you know, I think we were 3-5. Yeah, we were 3-5. So I mean, you lose 3 out of 9 games, you know, then you're going 9-8. So I could see it. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see 10-7 or 9-8. 11-6 means that we would have to win out, and that would include beating the Dallas Cowboys. And I fucking hate the Cowboys. You know, I've said that multiple times this stream. I will continue to say it, and I will continue to think it throughout the rest of my life. But they are pretty tough, and we do play them week 17, so it's hard to say that we'll get complete revenge on the Cowboys. Birdman says no Amari Cooper. Yeah, no Amari Cooper. I saw that. So Amari Cooper is not playing against the Chiefs this week. You know, they'll still have CeeDee Lamb. In there. And Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup's healthy, right? I believe Michael Gallup is healthy. So I mean, they'll still Dak will still have enough playmakers to go to without Amari Cooper. I fucking hate that. Dak Prescott has always had playmakers. He's always had playmakers. And we had to experience the shit that we experienced when we had Carson Wentz, you know, in his rookie year. Who do we have? Dorial Green Beckham? Are you fucking kidding me? Dorial Green Beckham? Come on. Anyway. Birdman says, Miles Sanders returning worries me. I hear you. I don't want the chemistry to be fucked up. I just don't want the chemistry to be fucked up. You know, and I brought this up in my stream last night, which is, you know, guys, we're also bordering on that. We're also bordering on the week where Brandon Brooks should be returning soon. But with the way that the offensive line is playing, with Jack Driscoll playing next to Lane Johnson and their camaraderie and their chemistry that they have together, and with Jason Kelce, obviously, you know, he's not going anywhere. And then Landon Dickerson and Jordan Mailata, you know, forming a formidable front on the left side. You know, do we want to put Brandon Brooks back in there right away? You know what I mean? Like, I know it sounds like a crazy question, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I'm just saying that, at some point, Brandon Brooks is also one of those guys that we have to think about moving on from. And Jack Driscoll has looked great. So, that's a draft pick that I believe that Howie Roseman hit on. What was it, a 5th-round pick last year? So, Docs Falcon says, do you still believe the Cardinals are the best team in the NFL? Oh, I didn't say that they were the best team in the NFL. I didn't say that. I said that they were the best team in the NFC. So, do I still believe that the Cardinals are the best team in the NFC? Yeah, I do, actually. Speaking about NFC teams, and we are going to jump into this. The Cardinals have only lost 2 games. One of those games was with Kyler Murray, and one of those losses was without Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's been out about 3-4 weeks now, or at least 3 weeks, and they've only lost 1 game during Kyler's absence. When Kyler comes back, the Cardinals should pick up where they left off. It's all going to depend on Kyler's comfortability in coming back from his ankle injury. So, yeah, I do believe that the Cardinals are still the best team in the NFC. Don't make me say the Rams. I've already said. Obviously, I'm saying it now, but I'll tell you why it's not the Rams. The Rams think that they can just go out and make NBA moves and put a Super Bowl roster together. Guys, we're Philadelphia. Most of us in here are Philadelphia Eagles fans. We know how that works out. Does anybody remember the Dream Team? Yeah, I said it. The Dream Team, Nnamdi Asomugha, DRC, Asante Samuel, Vince Young, Jason Babin, all these fuckers. And then the Eagles went, 6-10 that year? 6-10? What did we just see from the Los Angeles Rams? Everybody was going crazy because OBJ picked the Los Angeles Rams. And what happened? OBJ had a quiet ass fucking night, quieter than a mouse, and the Rams got absolutely blown out. And what did some of these sports analysts say? Oh, well, we saw Matthew Stafford, playing a little hesitant. And that's what he does. That's exactly what he does. He's done it to every single quarterback. I think there's something to be said there. He did it with Eli and he did it with Baker, and now Matthew Stafford is starting to play hesitant with OBJ on the field. I know it's only been 1 game, but trust me, this thing is going to develop, and it's going to turn this team inside the fuck out. So that's yeah, there's nothing else to say there. That's what's going to happen. I said this before OBJ got signed. It's a bad idea for every single team in the NFL. And I don't care if you're the Los Angeles Rams, and I don't even care if you were the Green Bay Packers or the Arizona Cardinals. OBJ is bad news bears for everybody. Birdman says, defend the house. Yeah, I'm going to defend the house. I'm going to defend the house all night long. Tox Falcon says, DB, you keep forgetting the Packers. I'm not forgetting the Packers. Here's the thing. I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to be there. I don't think you guys think that Aaron Rodgers wants to be there. I think the coaches know it. And at the end of the day, the Packers can go on and they can have a successful record, and they can lose 2 to 4 games, But what did we see? What did we see last year with the Packers? We saw miscommunication between the head coach and the quarterback. And until I see differently in the playoffs from the Green Bay Packers head coach, and his name is slipping me right now, I'm not going to say anything different. The thing is that Aaron can't do it all on his own. Aaron cannot do it all on his own. So that's my point on that. And I don't think that the Packers are really that tough to begin with. I think that they're good. I think that they're good. I think that they're beatable. I think that they got lucky. I think that they got lucky with their win over the Arizona Cardinals, but I still take the Arizona Cardinals over the Green Bay Packers. You know what that game reminded me of? That game reminded me of the Eagles in 2017 losing to the Kansas City Chiefs in week 3. But the Eagles were the ones who still went to the Super Bowl, right? The Eagles were the better team at the end of the year, right? That's what that game reminded me of. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals, they remind me a lot of the 2017 Eagles. They're very hard to stop. You know, James Conner is killing it on the ground game. But, you know, King Miro says that Chip defend the house that Chip Kelly destroyed. Or Birdman said defend the house that Chip Kelly destroyed. Defend the house that Chip Kelly destroyed. If I put those two together, yeah, I mean, Chip Kelly. Oh boy. Well, I mean, you get rid of LaShawn McCoy, you got rid of Deshaun Jackson, and then you got rid of Jeremy Maclin. You got rid of a trio that was absolutely dominant in their prime. Absolutely dominant. I mean, there's not much to say there. I don't want to fucking talk about Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly sucks. I don't want to talk about Chip Kelly. You know who I do want to talk about? Who do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the Eagles' current head coach. You know what I mean? I mean, Nick Sirianni, whatever he's doing it, and it's working. It's starting to work. It's starting to get better. It's starting to look better. It's starting to look promising. It's starting to breed optimism. It's starting to do all of this. And Jalen Hurts is responding really well to their Friday meetings, you know, to the coaching of Nick Sirianni, and so is the rest of the team. So, you know, you can say what you want about Flowers and how that speech was stupid. They didn't think it was stupid. You probably could have used something a little bit more masculine, like a tree, you know, like the tree of life instead of a flower. But, I mean, it's working. It's working, guys. Talks Falcon says, I definitely see Aaron getting another ring, just not with the Packers. That's possible. And that breeds the question. Yeah, is Aaron talented enough to be a LeBron James of the NFL? Right? Because that's what LeBron did. Yeah, I think he is, obviously. It's just a matter of who, where, and when. Who, where, and when. I think he's going to go to Denver, honestly. King Miro says, don't forget Trent Cole. Oh, I can never forget Trent Cole. Trent Cole was one of my favorites growing up. Trent Cole was one of my favorite guys growing up. Obviously, B-Doc was the guy for me. B-Doc was my favorite player. Trent Cole was another one. You know, Javon Curse for a little bit, too. I mean, a lot of my favorite players are from that era, you know, for the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, Trent Cole, I mean, when he was coming out of college, you know, ranked under, you know, a lot of people thought he was undersized. You know, I believe he was about 6'3", 255 or something like that. I think he was about the same size as Brandon Graham. But I mean, he was drafted as a defensive end, played great defensive end, and then when Chip Kelly came, I believe it was when Chip Kelly came. Yeah, Chip Kelly came. They started running the 3-4, and Trent Cole was listed as a linebacker that first year. Am I right in that? Was Trent Cole still on the team? Am I remembering correctly? I think he was. But yeah, number 58. Number 58 was the balls, man. Number 58 was the balls. Toxic Falcon says if the Eagles wideouts can beat the DBs for the Saints game, you can win. Oh, I believe that my wideouts can that the Philadelphia Eagles wideouts can beat the DBs. If there's one thing to be said, is this about the Philadelphia Eagles wideout is fast. They are fast. Devontae Smith is fast. Quez Watkins is fast. Jalen Reagor, who annoys the hell out of me, he's fast. But he just annoys the hell out of me. But anyway, Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins, though, they're fast. And Quez Watkins is getting better at running routes. Devontae Smith is already great at running routes. So I do believe that there are going to be chances to go deep against this Saints defense. I really do. And the reason why I think that, I know that the Saints defense is good, but the way that the Eagles have been manifesting their own opportunities to go deep. And they've been doing it by the successful ground game. The first 3 offensive plays for the Philadelphia Eagles against the Denver Broncos, they were all the same play. It's just that the result was different each time. So it basically caught the Denver Broncos out of position. So on the very first play, right, the Eagles, Jalen Hurts lined up in the shotgun with the running back to the side of him, and then he took it right. Jalen Hurts kept the ball, and he ran right and picked up about a first down. And then the very next play, they did the same exact thing, but this time he gave it to Boston Scott, and it went for like a 17-yard run. On the next play, it was the same exact look. The only difference, though, is that because of the two plays prior of successful running, the linebackers were blitzing to try and counter the run, and then it opened up Devontae Smith way downfield for a touchdown. Toxic Falcon says Saints got a monster defense. Yeah, they do. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore, Malcolm Jenkins, and them boys, Cam Jordan. I know. I'm very well aware. They also are number one. They're ranked number 1 against the run. So it's gonna be the top rushing offense going up against the top rushing defense in the league right now. And yeah, King Miro is right. They had a monster defense last year, and we beat them. The Saints were 10-2 last year, and they were on a 9-game winning streak, I believe. And then we snapped their winning streak in Jalen Hurts' first game as the starter. In his first game as the starter. So that's the other thing too. They can be the number 1 ranked rushing defense all they want, but they're still going to have to, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more troubling. It's a little bit harder to stop a rushing attack when your quarterback has the ability to run the ball as well. So Jalen Hurts is going to pose a threat, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the Saints team. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for this game. And the reason why is because Saints, Sean Payton, it's a measuring stick game. It's a measuring stick game, honestly. So Talks Falcon says the Saints' run defense is a damn monster, so you might have to just rely on the passing game. Here's the thing. Our offensive line is a monster. And I'm not saying that we're going to go up and put up 150 rushing yards on the Saints. I'm not saying that. But if they can get a $120 on the ground, it's pretty good. It's not going to be – you have to think about it this way, is there's Jalen Hurts running the ball. There's going to be Miles Sanders coming back. There's Jordan Howard running the ball really hard and doing a successful job and being efficient with it. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a challenge for the Saints rush defense, just like it is for our rushing offense to go up against their rushing defense. So I'm excited for this matchup. I really am. I think, and I hope that, honestly, I hope that the Eagles come away with a win. I've already made my prediction. For this week. But again, like I think that the Philadelphia Eagles, they come out and they could just continue to do what they've been doing. I think that they'll find themselves in this game. It's also a matter of fact when it comes to how is the defense going to play? How is the defense going to play against the Saints team? King Miro says, our defensive line is monster, but we need BG back. Yeah. Well, BG's out for the season. Obviously, we know that. And yeah, our defensive line this year has just been way too inconsistent. And I think it's going to take more than just BG coming back. I think it's guys getting used to the scheme, things of that nature. Is Jonathan Gannon even going to be the defensive coordinator next year? That's the thing, is like, I'm still not on that board. I'm still not on that board. I was completely pissed off after the Chargers game because we just couldn't fucking stop Justin Herbert and that offense. We just couldn't stop him. We did a good job against Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams in Denver, but we did a good job against Teddy Bridgewater, but it's way too inconsistent. So and here's what I'll say about BG. I believe that BG is going to come back and is going to be with the Philadelphia Eagles again next year, but I cannot say the same for Fletcher Cox. So even when BG does come back, the defensive line is definitely going to look a little bit different because BG is going to come back. He's going to, obviously he got that extension. He got that extension earlier in the offseason. So he's going to be here for at least a couple more years. Fletcher Cox might be traded. Derek Barnett is going to be gone. Speaking of a defensive lineman that I just cannot fucking stand. It's gonna look different. It's gonna be different. It's just gonna operate different. And hopefully Howie Roseman gets some guys in here that are absolutely complete monsters. You know what I mean? Absolutely complete monsters. And my prediction for the Eagles-Saints game is going to be the Eagles 24. Or no, the Eagles 27, the Saints 17. Eagles 27, Saints 17. So I think they'll come away with the victory. And they'll impress everybody. But guys, with that said, hey, it was great talking to you guys, and I appreciate you guys coming in and joining tonight. I will be back on tomorrow. We'll get some streams going. We'll get some good conversation in. Obviously, we'll do an NFL Sunday preview tomorrow, so that will be great. We'll also do another open discussion. But you guys, thank you so much for joining in on this beautiful Friday evening. Stay safe, stay healthy. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. One love. Go Birds, baby.